This is the D4 Mini, Deity's newest ultra-compact on-camera mic. It's small, portable, and with features that far outweigh its size. It is tailored for content creators who want great audio for a small footprint. There is so much to be said about such a small piece of gear. So, let's get it on. What's up, Gearheads? Noel here, and let me be very honest with you. I was so disappointed when I got this in the mail. So, well, backstory, Deity said that they were gonna send me their latest microphone, and of course I was expecting probably a wireless system. So imagine my disappointment when I opened the package and I saw the D4 Mini. But, you know, never judge a book by its cover or a microphone by how it looks. So please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and let me tell you a story about my D4 Mini. First, let's tackle the specs of the D4 Mini. The D4 Mini measures 0.7 inches in diameter and 3.1 inches in length. It weighs 29 grams, microphone only. And it retails for $49.99. Now, just like the D4 Duo, the D4 Mini has an output and an input. If you haven't seen my review of the D4 Duo, then click here. When there is nothing connected on the input, then the recording from the microphone goes to both left and right channels. If there is an input connected, then the recording from the microphone goes to the left channel and the recording from the input goes to the right channel. So what can you connect to the input of the D4 Mini? Well, any mic actually. For example, I could have a lav mic attached to myself and then into the input to record my dialogue as an interviewer, and then the D4 Mini will record the interviewee. Or I could record my narration with a VLAV and the D4 Mini will record the ambient sound. I've seen also setups wherein two D4 Minis are daisy chained for stereo recording. And lastly, the D4 Mini doesn't need batteries or charging as it draws power from the camera or phone or device that it's connected to. So what comes with the D4 Mini? Well, in the box is the D4 Mini itself, a shock mount, a dead cat, and two cables. First is a TRS to TRS cable and then a bonus TRS to TRRS cable. The TRS to TRRS cable is a welcome bonus and addition because normally you have to pay for this separately with other brands, and this cable is crucial to using your microphone with mobile phones and tablets. Alright, so let's do a quick test and comparison of all the mics in a studio setting. So first, let's turn off the music and then turn off the noise reduction. Alright, we're good. So here on the table in front of me is the Nikon Z50 and attached to it is the D4 Mini as the audio source or as the microphone. Alright, for baseline, this is how I sound using the S-Mic 2S, which is my default vlogging mic, connected to a Zoom H6 that goes straight to my Ninja 5. Now this is how I sound using the in-camera mic of the Nikon Z6. Now this is how I sound with the D4 Mini connected to the Z50. And finally, this is how I sound using the in-camera mic of the Z50. Now, as you've heard, while the audio from the S-Mic 2S is incredible, the recording from the D4 Mini is very clear, it's very crisp, and is considerably better than the in-camera microphones of the Z50 and the Z6. Last month, I went on assignment to the mountains of Masungi Reserve to film a global campaign for Fujifilm and their new medium format camera, the GFX50S2. So if you haven't seen my review of that camera, then click here. So I brought two microphones. First would be the D4 Mini and my staple, which is the Deity D3 Pro. So this is my usual microphone for outdoor scenes and on-location shoots. So it was naturally the microphone that I gravitated to. I was very hesitant to use the D4 Mini because it was so small, and at that time the weather was really bad. It was raining and it was very windy, so I went with what I was confident with. But for some reason, the D3 Pro won't work, so we settled on the D4 Mini. We were in for a surprise though, because the D4 Mini actually withstood the light rain and the wind. It was very, of course, portable, versatile, and very reliable. I'll let the footage speak for itself. So here's a recording or a clip using the D4 Mini in close-up. So now I'm going to take advantage of the impressive dynamic range of this camera. I'm shooting wrap here in the middle of this cave enclosure, and there are a lot of shadows and a lot of highlights. And I'm very confident that when I get to post, I'll be able to bring out all the details from both ends. And then from a few feet away. Unfortunately, we don't always have the advantage of stable platforms, but thankfully the GFX50S2 has 6 stops of in-body image stabilization, and I'm able to take very sharp and clear pictures, even on this rope bridge. And then in strong wind. Conservation photography is not just about taking beautiful photos. What's important is you capture the reality of the situation. So the more truth of the moment that you capture, the better. With a large format sensor, like with the GFX50S2, you capture more than full frame. My crew and I were completely blown away by this microphone. It is small and it's very light, but it's no pushover either. Now, what about studio setup? Well, I think I use the D4 Mini in the best way that it's meant to be used, which is for my TikTok. So if you haven't seen it, then click on the link below for all my TikTok content where I teach photo and video tutorials. So this is my TikTok rig. It's a shitty rig or a Frankenstein setup. And here is my ring light. It's Nan light, 14 inches. And in the middle is my Samsung X10 Plus that I use for filming. And connected via a long extension cable would be the D4 Mini on this arm. So it is a permanent fixture there. Let me adjust it so that you can see it clearly. And yeah, I filmed most of my TikTok videos using that. So as an example, let me show you a video using first the VLAV for audio. Is the brand of the camera important? Straight answer, no, it's not. You should look past the brand and assess a camera based on its capabilities, strengths, weaknesses, available lenses, and how all of these fit and work with your style. And then now using the D4 Mini. Ever since I started here on TikTok, you guys have been asking me of a good starter camera to invest in. Normally, these would be those who are getting their first camera or are upgrading to their transitional camera, moving up from enthusiast to professional. So as you can see, you can't really tell the difference in terms of quality, but the advantage of using the D4 Mini is that it's a fixed setup. I can just sit down and start recording. I don't have to waste time putting on the VLAV or removing it. I usually use an Ursa strap to have it on, and it's now a permanent fixture on my TikTok setups. All right, so let's go through the strengths of the D4 Mini. First, audio quality. You've heard it. Incredible. Second would be the size, the portability, and the weight. Very light. I've been calling it my little pocket rocket. And even more so, number 3, because I don't need batteries or I don't need to charge it. So all I have to do is put it in my pocket and then go shooting. If I need it, take it out, slap it on my camera, connect it, and I'm good to go. And of course, the feature that really makes it a cut above the rest would be that input slot. So being able to use that, use different mics, VLAVs, another D4 Mini probably really increases the value of the D4 Mini exponentially. And finally, the TRS to TRRS cable that comes free. So Deity thought of everything. You don't need to look for something like this and eventually pay for it. So Deity, awesome job. As for weaknesses, there are just 2. I actually feel like I'm nitpicking, but first for audio quality, it's very clear, but I do prefer more from the lower frequencies, and I'm missing that from the D4 Mini, but that's easy to fix in post using EQ. Second would be the cable. I wish they were longer because, well, this is perfect for use with a camera. So the D4 Mini on top on the hot shoe, and then this cable is perfect, the perfect length. But you have to remember that the D4 Mini is also made for content creators using phones and tablets. So in some cases, you may need longer cables so that, how it's mounted, it could be further away from the mic ports. So a longer cable would address that. And that is it. That is my review of the Deity D4 Mini. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you want to see more of my work, head on over to my Instagram, Noel Guevara Photo. And for next week, we will be doing a review of the Matador packable water bottle. So watch out for that. Cheers guys, and see you in the next video.